Suspect Frank James was spewing race hate years before Brooklyn suburb shooting, writes Miranda Devine. And then she says, or writes, how did Frank R. James, the apparent black nationalist, how about apparent subway terrorist? But Miranda, who's white, I have to tell you that to call Frank James a black nationalist is wrong and in itself racist, okay? He is consuming the hatred of not just white folks, but black folks. But once again, folks like you are cherry picking this. And I say folks like you because not every white person thinks like you do, just folks like you, right? Sorry, I don't like this. And I think you need to pull back, and sorry for my rhetoric, but it's upsetting when you have the opportunity to tell the story of how racism can make someone black mentally ill, can drive them crazy, all right? That's what's happened, I argue, in the case of this man. I think I have more experience at this than you do, Miranda. Let's just play a game. Let's just take black nationalists. I haven't done this before. Let's just copy it, all right? And then paste it in the field and see what we get as a definition, okay? Black nationalist, all right? Okay. Black nationalism, all right? How about, instead of the Wikipedia version, which gets the story, how about the black version of black nationalism? What is black nationalism from a black point of view, according to the Martin Luther King Jr. Research and Education Institute? Paid for by Stanford, good thing. Achieving major national influence through the Nation of Islam and the Black Power movement of the 1960s, proponents of black nationalism advocated economic self-sufficiency, race pride for African Americans, and black separatism. Let's stop right there, okay? Now let's go back to the subject of this guy, all right? This guy, all right? This guy was calling other black people names. He was routinely espousing negative points of view about black folks. He wasn't calling for black separatism. He even said that white people should kill black folks. That's not something a black nationalist does. So to call Frank James a black nationalist is an insult to black nationalists, shows a complete lack of understanding of blacks in America as well. The real story is really something I think that Harvard law professor Derek Bell laid out many years ago when he got in a cab as he was writing in one of his books. I can't remember the title, unfortunately, but he says that the cab driver asked him what he did. Well, cab driver was black. He said that he was a professor at the Harvard Law School. And the cab driver said, oh, you're one of those that makes it harder for the rest of us. And Professor Bell said, what do you mean? He says, well, with a person like Derek Bell as with his title, it's harder for the cab driver to blame his lack of success or luck on racism. But racism is a problem, and it has driven a number of African Americans, in some cases, to negative places in their mind. How mental illness is caused by racism needs to be discussed here, not black nationalism. Unless, of course, you're married to someone who's black and you're white and you're a journalist, do yourself a favor. Talk to other black folks about a person like Frank James and find out what they think. Don't just pop off that the person's a black nationalist. Come on. This is 2022. This is America. This is the internet. You can do some research, or you can ask folks like me, or both. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com.